yesterday over Southern Indiana, 95-57. The women's basketball team standing at 3-3 with 2 games coming up this week. First, a road contest on Friday night against the Dayton Flyers. That will tip off at 7 o'clock. And then a home game on Sunday afternoon against Valparaiso, and that'll be a 2 o'clock tip at Mackey Arena. Good evening, everybody. From walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, it is the Katie Gearlds Show. We'll talk Boilermaker basketball with the head coach up until the top of the hour. We'll also be joined a little bit later on in the program by freshman Emily Monson, who comes from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and gets a round of applause before we even start tonight. We're on Purdue Facebook page on the Purdue Athletics site. We're also on X and Instagram, so you can follow us there. Let us know where you're watching on Facebook tonight, and if you have a question for the coach, you can chip that in as well. When we come back, we will have Katie Gearlds, and she is presented by the Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Seeing that duo, they've been working together, and it's the freshman!
Nothing else on the stat sheet, no rebounds, assists, or anything.
No boards for Shafford yet, but it is still very early in the game. Jones from 3, gets the bucket! Not a shot you can pass up because Purdue will run away with the game if you let them. Terry now to Smith, to Rashunda Jones. Rashunda Jones with the make!
Here's a chance for Purdue to get some momentum going into the second quarter.
11 seconds left. Let's see if Layden's able to make the 3, and she does! Oh my goodness! Misses a shot that we didn't normally see her make.
That was a long 2, but she also bobbled that dribble before she took the shot.
Now it's Ellis once again, just showing us how great of a player she is, going up for those gritty layups right there. And they just gave up the ball to Abby Ellis, who is just a nightmare for teams, and she gets the bucket and draws the and one. Oh my gosh, Abby Ellis. They still have not been able to make one from the outside.
Yeah, they're 0 for 6 from outside the arc, but that wasn't a bad 3.
But you know who is it? Madison Layden. She is on fire today.
Is the one who gets the offense going. She's been the only spark for Southern Indiana today.
But you know who else is a spark? Abby Ellis from the outside, making the 3, making it look way too easy. All right, let's see what Terry can cook up here. Kicking it out to Layden. Layden with the long 3 and makes it, as always, like she normally does.
When she's on the court, that's the great stat if you're Katie Gearlds to look at.
Oh yes, and we have Rashunda Jones with the steal. Going to Ellis. Ellis now up and in. Not a bad decision by the freshman.
No, what a great drive from Mary Ashton Stevenson. That puts her in double figures, and she's got 10 points.
Emily Monson with the steal. Now it's a transition with Jayla Smith, who gets the buckets. Monson now with the ball. Layden again, finding Stevenson down below, who gets in.
Welcome back to the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. And coaches, feels like it's been forever here. It's only been a couple of weeks since we've been gone, but 4 games have been played in that time. You got to go down to the Bahamas. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But how do you feel about this basketball team now as compared to 2 weeks ago?
You know, I think we've taken steps. I think that this is a ball club that's going to continue to get better as the year goes on. You know, we talked, obviously the Bahamas dropped 2 games, and we talked about, you know, you don't want to play your best basketball in the month of November. You want to make sure you're playing your best ball in January and February, and then really lead into March, find your groove. So as long as we can continue to get better, not worry about outcomes right now. Obviously we want to win basketball games, but we got to keep getting better and focus on ourselves.
Well, it seems like it was a lot longer than 2 weeks ago, but since the last time we've had a show here, you played Texas A&M. You won that one 72-58, but that game did not start out well. About 70 seconds in, you were down 8-0, and you called one of the quicker timeouts you've seen, and I can't always see what you're saying in the huddle, but I can tell by the redness in your face how you're saying it, and you were in the beat red category in that one.
Yeah, I really don't remember what I said. I actually think I was pretty calm. You have to ask Emily when she gets up here, but I just like, okay, guys, like we spotted them 8 points. Let's play. let's try to play ball now.
Well, and they were a typical SEC team, a very athletic, terrific players on the perimeter. They had size inside. But once you got, it seemed like once you got your sea legs in that one, then you I thought you took their spirit away midway through that basketball game.
Yeah, really in the first quarter, I thought when we battled back and took the lead at the end of the first, you know, it was our mistakes, right? Like we missed a box out on a free throw. We had both of our posts sink in transition. They get a trail 3. 2 turnovers to start for us. We didn't think that they could score enough points in the half court against us. So as long as we were limiting our silly mistakes, we thought we had a chance. And that's pretty much what happened.
And you got good scoring out of your backcourt. Abby Ellis and Rashonda Jones had 20 points each. And I think we're seeing Rashonda Jones with some of that promise that we knew she came down from South Bend, Washington with. Terrific mid-range game. And I think that's a lost art these days in not only college basketball, but basketball in general.
Yeah, she's going to keep getting better and better as she starts to really understand. You know, her pace is different than everybody else's on the basketball court, but playing with shooters, playing with post players, and just understanding. I mean, she's a scoring guard, right? She's not necessarily a point guard, and she plays a lot at the point for us, but you're right. Like, her mid-range pull-up is elite.
You played 2 more SEC teams down in the Bahamas. We'll talk about the basketball games in a minute, but when you go down for a holiday trip, one of the big priorities, I think, is to make your team get a little bit closer. They're going to spend a lot of time, probably a lot of them the first time they've ever been away from home for Thanksgiving or for a holiday. From that aspect, did you feel like you got done what you wanted to get done off the court?
Yes and no. The setup was a little bit different than maybe Cancun, but you know, we actually had a lot of parents come down, so it was really good for our kids to have some time with their own families. But we ate a lot of meals together. You know,
couldn't afford to eat on our own there.
My goodness, my goodness.
Let me say, between that and the casino, I worked for free last week. I can tell you that. I may have even come out negative on that trip.
Oh man, I know the feeling.
But you know, it was a huge hotel. It was the Grand Hyatt Hotel down in the Baha Mar Grand Hyatt in Nassau. Beautiful weather when we could get out. You know, when we were playing basketball, it was 80 degrees, a little bit of a breeze. So every once in a while, you were able to remind yourself, hey, this is a holiday trip. But there's a lot of work to be done as well.
Yeah, you know, I think our kids were able to get out and enjoy the water, and obviously right there on the sea, and the pools were incredible. You know, I was stuck in my room most of the days. I don't know what I picked up down there, but tried to fight it off most of the day. Got out a little bit, but not too much.
And when you play a tournament like that, all 8 teams that were in the tourney were staying at the same hotel, so it was hard not to run into people from other schools. But I didn't hear or see of any problems that any of the schools had with each other. At least now a couple during the game. We had a couple skirmishes down there, not with Purdue, but. Yeah. And one player ejected that I saw.
Yeah, that was the game right before us,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, just you know, some competitive fire, but I would expect that our group would always lead with a lot of class out there.
And it was a long day coming home. We didn't get home until about 11 o'clock on Thanksgiving night. So a good opportunity to give them a little rest on Friday before they had to play again this weekend.
Yeah, it was a long day traveling, but our group, you know, they handled it. Took them, you know, gave them Friday off, and then Saturday we came in and prepped for Sunday's game.
All right, we're going to talk about those 2 games down in the Bahamas when we come back. It is the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Matchup here in West Lafayette.
This team wants to win tonight, you will win. If you go out and compete, and you're together, and you understand what your job is, and you're focused, and you're zoned in, you will win the match. My dream of this team is to play with more intensity than any team in the country.
She is stumped. No surprise. Myers in the play.
Just seeing this team turn on the court now, really understanding our roles, because at first it was really tough and we had a lot of new pieces, and seeing how that would fit together. So seeing it all click and all of it being full now is really cool. I mean, I love playing in this gym. Part of the reason I committed is to play at Holloway. So just being there when they're there, with all that support there for the first 2 games is going to mean the world to our team and to me. Winning those big games just builds so much confidence, especially as we're a young team. So having those big wins and seeing that we can do that just shows that we can go far in this tournament. And that just keeps building confidence every day. And I think that's just going to keep us going.
A top 20 matchup here in West Lafayette with significant.
Everyone needs a little playing time, so before a Purdue basketball game or any time throughout the week, stop by Walk-Ons here in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. We're going to remind you of this a few times during the broadcast tonight. Friday night's game against Dayton likely will be a streaming-only broadcast. If the Purdue volleyball team wins on Thursday night, which we hope and expect that they will against Fairfield, when they win on Thursday night, they will be on their normal station, which is the Patriot, 104.3 FM. We will be streaming only, so go to PurdueSports.com. You will not be able to listen to that game on Bob FM. So go to PurdueSports.com, go to the scheduled page with Purdue women's basketball, click on Listen, and I'll be hiding behind the arrow when you click that. So it'll be on normal time, about 6:50 on Friday night. And again, that is assuming that the Purdue women win their volleyball match on Thursday night. We'll remind everybody again of that, and it'll be out on the social media and all over the webpage as well. Hello to Ira in Swamico, Wisconsin, Brianne over there at Ball State, and Linda from Grand Haven, Michigan, where she says it's much colder than we were in the Bahamas. It was much colder walking up the hill after the game yesterday with the equipment in tow than it was in the Bahamas.
Oh,
I can tell you that.
Yeah, the Bahamas, the weather was beautiful. 77 degrees at night.
Yes.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
All right, the basketball itself, you started off with Florida, and probably, every loss is frustrating, but that was particularly frustrating. It was a 52-49 game, 2 for 22 from three-point range, and maybe with the exception of 2 or 3 shots that you had to put up late in the shot clock, they were great looks at the basket, just could not get the lid off that bucket on either end.
Yeah, just kind of really one of those days. And I think what was really frustrating, because I thought we guarded them really well. We guarded their actions. We made them take tough pull-up shots, right? Like pull-up jumpers, and that's kind of what you want to force teams into. And we executed on the other ends. We screened. We were patient. Got our feet under us, and for whatever reason, the ball just didn't go in.
You were down 50-49. They had the basketball late. They missed a shot. You had your hands on a rebound. You wanted Rashonda Jones to get up the floor. Unfortunately, she had her dribble a little bit out to the side. It was tipped away from behind. It pinballed around. Bottom line is they get the ball, and they wind up shooting a couple of free throws, and then Abby couldn't hit her 3 at the buzzer to tie it.
Yeah, I think they had the ball 38 seconds to go. So, just like, hey, get a stop. Get a stop. We had a timeout to advance the basketball, but we thought we were struggling so much in a half court. Our best bet was to get a defensive rebound and then just go get a layup on the other end. And I thought Florida took a really quick shot, and Rashonda was able to get the board, and she did exactly what we asked her to do. The kid from Florida, 5th-year senior, made a really good play, and they hit 2 free throws. And on the other end, I thought we executed the first sideline out of bounds. Abby was wide open. Jayla just couldn't get it to her, so we ran almost the same play, and Abby got a clean look at it, and I think it hit the back of the iron. But just one of those days.
Yeah, it was dead on. It just hit the back of the iron. So then 2 days later, you come back against Georgia. A little bit different team. They play an enormous 3-2 zone. We were talking before. I don't think I've ever seen 3 bigger players in front of a zone defense.
Yeah, and Madison's a really big wing, and she's I remember one time she's like, "Man, Coach, I can't see anything out there." Just they're in their pressure. We hadn't really we've seen them press, but not as much, and I think they really picked it up on us. I think it's one of those things where they could just smell blood, and they had us on our heels. And it's a close game in the 4th quarter, and their horse hits 3 or 4 fall-away jumpers that were just tough shots.
Even before that, though, I think your team showed a lot of mettle because you got down 12 midway through the 3rd quarter. You took a timeout, and you had the lead. In fact, you tied the game by the end of the 3rd quarter and then took the lead, I think, in the 4th. I thought that showed a little something with this young basketball team.
Yeah, learned a lot. Obviously, we've got some young kids in there. Not just young kids, but our older kids are trying to figure out how to play with them, and they're trying to learn how to play with each other as well. But and then from us, like we're still like, okay, who can handle this and what can they do? And I thought our group battled. I thought we were connected for both of those games. We were competitive. It just didn't go our way.
Yeah, and you mentioned Javin Nicholson hit 4 fadeaway shots in the fourth quarter, and their shots, if you're playing horse, you're going to dare her to make those shots.
Yeah, she looked like LeBron James shooting fallaways. There was nothing we could do. You know, our double couldn't come fast enough. You know, she just hit tough shots, and when she hit those, I thought we hit a couple. We were able to break their press, and we took a couple quick pull-ups that just didn't go down and kind of hurried us. And then she hit another one, and by that time, it was a little bit too late.
I think you mentioned, though, yesterday during the post-game comments, losing those games is difficult, but those games and the UCLA game are going to make you a better team come the end of the season.
Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, you look at a lot of teams, you know, their record now, they're sitting at, you know, 5-0, 6-0, 6-1, whatever it is. We've gone out there and challenged ourselves. Obviously, you know, it's frustrating because, you know, you'd hope to get at least one of those down to the Bahamas, and we weren't able to do it. And to know that we probably could have gotten 2 of them, you know, but we're going to be battle tested when we go on the road December 10th at Minnesota, right?
And, oh, by the way, that UCLA team that we played in the opening game, they beat Connecticut last week by 11 points.
Well, not only that, it was a 27-point game in the third quarter.
Yeah.
So, like,
they're good. They're really good.
They're really good.
All right, we're going to be back with the coach in 2 minutes. It's the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
10 leader in sacks even after missing action last week. Sorsby on third down, it's intercepted. Dylan Thieneman nearly makes Sorsby. Yeah, just needs a first down here. Pocket collapsing on Sorsby. How did he stay on his feet? Scorton sticks with the play and the big. First and 10. Perhan again, and he makes Dunham miss. He makes more miss. And the freshman scores for Purdue. With the penalty because it took place so far downfield. 2nd and 3. Sorsby. And was it intercepted? No, it was incomplete. Kobe was the intended receiver.
What a play by Cam Allen. I mean, in the hip pocket, gets that head around and just pops that ball out into that left hand, and then that right knee hits his fourth.
The quarterback. Third down here. Sorsby airs it out for McCulley. Thieneman, another interception. Bucket game between Purdue and Indiana. Purdue ball, third down in the red zone. Card deals, end zone, touchdown, Purdue. Drew Bimmer and short, trying to keep this drive alive as we start the fourth quarter. A pull pass, Devin Mockabee, touchdown, Purdue.
And you're going to see Mockabee, and he knows that defense is so locked in on Hudson.
Really tough to bring down for Indiana's defensive line. He throws it deep for Deion Burks. Card up the gut. Card, touchdown. Purdue has the lead.
Thing off on the right foot, and then Card calls his own number, makes air.
Welcome back to the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We're live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Lafayette Limo, family-owned, women-owned, serving Greater Lafayette for over 33 years. Shuttles to and from Indianapolis and O'Hare airports 365 days a year. Make your reservations now at LafayetteLimo.com. Lafayette Limo, proud sponsor of Purdue Athletics. Boilermakers and Dayton on Friday night, and then Valparaiso comes in on Sunday. We'll talk about those games a little bit later. You had a time yesterday during the Southern Indiana game, which was a 95-57 win. You had your 5 freshmen on the floor, which was kind of neat, and I think also gave you a little bit of film for you all to watch together about, okay, here's what you did well, and here's what needs to get better.
Yeah, we obviously took today off, and we'll be watching quite a bit of that tomorrow with that group. You know, I think I looked up and I think Elena needed a sub, and so Mark put MA in there in the fourth quarter, and just a really cool moment. Like this is the first class I brought in, and for them all to be out there together was a really special moment for me personally.
Well, we got a couple of them here. Mary Ashley is here to give moral support tonight to Emily, who's going to be up with us in the next segment. You needed production out of this freshman class. I mean, you got 8 players that are new to the program. You had 5 returning players. You're not going to go very far if you can't get something out of those 8 and it doesn't have to be the same person or same people.
Right.
Somebody in that group has to step forward, though.
Yeah, and they've done that. You know, you talk about only 5 returners. Got a lot of old bodies out there. You know, 6 years, 5th years, and sometimes you limited them in practice because you want them to be healthy in February and March. And you know, our new group, they've bought in. I think they trust what we're trying to do. I think they believe in the culture. They love Purdue. They work their tails off. You know, those 2 sitting over there, you know, they're the ones getting me up at 7:30, 7 in the morning to get extra workouts in. And, you know, nobody's going to work harder than those kids. And that's why they're here. It's who they are, and they're all about making Purdue great again.
Back to some of your returning players, though, it was great to see Madison Layden break out the last couple of games. She hit 4 3-pointers in the game against Georgia, and then came out yesterday. She scored 16 points on just 6 shots from the field, and that was the Madison Layden that we'd like to see game after game.
Yeah, you know, obviously you want to shoot. You want to see her shoot it more than 6 times. You know, she struggled in the Florida game, as did everybody, just not making shots. But I think she's shooting 50% from the 3 on the year right now. So we just keep her fresh. You know, it helps with to have a lot of young guards around her to keep her off the floor as much as we can in practice and in games. Want to have her as healthy and as fresh as we can for the stretch.
You know, if you try to explain basketball or explain athletics in general to anyone, how do you do it? Because after you struggle to shoot the ball down in the Bahamas, you come out yesterday and hit your first 6 3-point shots of the game.
Yeah. I think after the third one went down, I sat down next to Kelly, and I was like, well, that would have been nice to have in the Bahamas.
There's no place like home, Dorothy.
Yeah.
Click those heels together.
You know, and Abby and Mads are like, man, Coach, these rims are tight. I was like, well, you're a shooter. You're not supposed to touch the rim. You're supposed to just hit the net. But just a really tough time for us shooting the ball, but good to see us bounce back and have some confidence. You know, and I was really kind of curious to see how they would come out yesterday after a disappointing trip. And then, you know, we traveled all day on Thursday. They had Friday off. I thought they showed a little bit of maturity to come out the way they did and put 35 points on the board yesterday in the first quarter. Yeah, that would have been nice. You know, Saturday wasn't a great practice. I think I yelled the most on Saturday at our group. So if I would have known that they were going to respond on Sunday, I probably would have saved my voice.
Could be a lot more yelling, though, if that's what it takes.
Guys, don't do that.
We'll get a confirmation on that about the yelling going forward. Before we bring Emily up, well, what did you see from her as a high school recruit? A kid that was going to work her tail off, a knockdown shooter. I think we actually fell in love with her at camp. She came to elite camp my first summer here, and even in elite camp, she was on the floor, diving on loose balls. I think she won the one-on-one competition. And then you just watched her evolve and grow into who we think she can be. You know, she can shoot it with the best of them, and, you know, we challenge her every day to keep getting better defensively. But we're throwing a lot at our young kids that we do a lot of things differently schematically, and they're just going to continue to get better and better and feel more confident in what we're doing, and their playing time will just keep going up and up. All right, we'll bring Emily up next. It is the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
I got a vanilla bean frappuccino.
I got a strawberry acai with lemonade. NBA young boy. I have a variety.
Facts. That is true. I have a huge variety, but who features most? Probably Lil Durk.
Cargos, graphic tee, sneakers.
But I like black skinnies for sure. You know, definitely sneakers, variety of sneakers. And then, you know, a nice little graphic tee, nice little oversized, because that's the vibes right now. But you know, cargos is a vibe too, so that's valid.
My mom is my best friend. No, I love my mom. She's my bestie. She's like taught me everything that I know. So I am the way I am because of her.
That is the best statement I've ever heard. Just like Sophie said, like the reason I'm the way I am is because of my mom. Like she's taught me everything that I know. Like
I got pulled over once when I was 15. I was driving a golf cart. I'm a good driver though. I'm a good driver. I haven't been pulled over since. I also hit a car in a parking lot once. So I'd say like 8. 10.
that's an 8.
Yeah.
Give me a 10 out of 10. My mother.
My mom.
My mom.
And my grandma.
Oh, my grandma too.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
dogs.
Mama. You what?
Purdue Global is Purdue's accredited and affordable online solution for working adults. Persistence pays off at Purdue Global. We are at walk-ons in the Purdue Memorial Union. We're ordinarily on here every Monday at 7:10. Next week, because the men are playing on Monday night, we'll be here next Tuesday night. Tuesday night at 7:10 next week for the Katie Gearlds Show. We are joined by Emily Monson. She is a freshman from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. For those not familiar with the geography of the state of Tennessee, where is Murfreesboro close to? Where in the state is it?
It's pretty much in the middle, like 35, 40 minutes from Nashville. So.
Okay. And
Right
Boilermaker
under.
fans are familiar with Nashville. Had one really good trip there for a bowl and one not quite so good. We asked Katie Gearlds what she saw in you as a high school player. What did you see in Purdue as a high school recruit? Why did you wind up becoming a Boilermaker?
Well, obviously Purdue is a great school, so that's one thing. But just honestly, I saw in Coach KG just she's been through it. She knows what it takes, and just her passion to win and change things is something I want to be a part of. So it was an easy decision.
Psychology major, correct? Is that?
Well,
or that's the last I saw. Has that changed since you got here?
As of now, I'm going down the communications path, but it's changed a lot in the last, like, a week.
So, in other words, you're a typical college student, and that's okay, because most students change their major at least once, if not 10 times. So, as long as you keep progressing forward to the finish line, that's what we care about. How did you get started? When did you start playing basketball?
I was in 4th grade at I went to Blackman High School, obviously, and I went to Blackman Elementary School, but I changed and went to a different school called McFadden, and they had a basketball team, so that's when I started playing, and ever since then.
Now, you're fairly tall for a guard, 6'1". Have you always been on the tall? Was there a growth spurt in there, or have you always been kind of tall for your age?
I feel like I definitely had a growth spurt. I used to want to be short because Crystal Dangerfield went to my high school, and I just wanted to be like her, so I was like, oh, please be short. Now, I hope I grow like 5 more inches, but.
So 6'1" may not be it.
I think I'm still growing.
Oh, there you go. Well, you got to feed her a little bit more, Coach. We got to get her up another couple inches here. High school, outstanding career, 107 wins and just 16 losses in your high school career, and you won the 2021 state championship. What was it like playing for a state championship?
It was so much fun. I got to experience it younger, so.
You would have been a, junior?
I was a sophomore.
Sophomore in 21, that's right.
Yeah. It was fun, definitely. We had a really great team that year, and I wish we could have done it again, but it was a good experience, and I'm really grateful that I could have.
And you really kind of exploded your senior year. You scored more points, as I understand, your senior year in high school than your other 3 years combined. Was that just a matter of Emily's going to get the ball more, or was there big growth in the game from your junior to your senior year?
I think a couple of different things played into it, but I think my confidence I got more confident, but there wasn't really that much of a change, I would say. But
how's it been to adapt to life at a Big Ten university? I mean, going from high school to college is a big jump for a lot of young people. What was the hardest transition to make as you came up here full time as a student?
I would say the hardest transition was definitely being away from my family, but I'm around so many great people. It's easy.
You got another family here.
Yes,
You
I
have
do.
a sibling, right?
Yes. Brother.
Younger or older?
He's younger than me.
Okay, so you're the older of the group.
I am.
And you weren't able to get home obviously for Thanksgiving because we're down there, but looking forward to getting back a little bit over that Christmas break.
Yes. Well, I'm going to go home, but then I'm going to visit my grandparents in Nebraska, so.
Now, not many people go to Nebraska when it's really cold outside. You know, you're supposed to go down a little bit south, right?
Yes, you are.
All right. We're going to talk more with Emily Monson when we come back. It's the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
That duo. They've been working together, and it's the freshman!
Nothing else on the stat sheet, no rebounds, assists, or anything.
No boards for Shepherd yet, but it is still very early in the game. Jones from 3, gets the bucket! Not a shot you can pass up because Purdue will run away with the game if you let them. Terry now to Smith, to Rashunda Jones. Rashunda Jones with the make!
There's a chance for Purdue to get some momentum going into the second quarter.
11 seconds left. Let's see if Layden's able to make the 3, and she does! Oh my goodness! Misses a shot that we didn't normally see her make.
That was a long 2, but she also bobbled that dribble before she took the shot.
Now it's Ellis once again, just showing us how great of a player she is, going up for those gritty layups right there. And they just gave up the ball to Abby Ellis, who is just a nightmare for teams, and she gets the bucket and draws the and one. Oh my gosh, Abby Ellis. They still have not been able to make one from the outside.
Yeah, they're 0 for 6 from outside the arc, but that wasn't a bad 3.
But you know who is it? Madison Layden. She is on fire today.
Is the one who gets the offense going. She's been the only spark for Southern Indiana today.
But you know who else is a spark? Abby Ellis from the outside, making the 3, making it look way too easy. All right, let's see what Terry can cook up here. Kicking it out to Layden. Layden with the long 3 and makes it, as always, like she normally does.
When she's on the court, that's the great stat if you're Katie Gearlds to look at.
Oh yes, and we have Rashunda Jones with the steal. Going to Ellis. Ellis now up and in. Not a bad decision by the freshman.
No, what a great drive from Mary Ashton Stevenson. That puts her in double figures, and she's got 10 points.
Emily Monson with the steal. Now it's a transition with Jayla Smith, who gets the buckets. Monson now with the ball. Layden again, finding Stevenson down below, who gets in.
Welcome back to the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union. We are live at Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Time for our Pro Boilers feature, where we look at how former Purdue student-athletes are doing in their professional sports careers. Pro Boilers is presented by Indiana Kitchen Premium Pork Products. Get to know us at indianakitchen.com. Both our Pro Boilers and Indiana Kitchen are boiler-made. We're going to take a look at 3 players right now playing overseas. Aya Traore, at the tender age of 40, still hooping, had a double-double this weekend, 10 points and 10 rebounds. Her team won 83-70. I'm sorry, her team lost 83-78, so they dropped to 3-3 on the season. Ariana Harris is also playing in Spain. She had 4 points and 10 rebounds in her last game, a 67-58 win. Her team now 2-5. How about the numbers from Laisha Petrie? Laisha in her last game, 28 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 steals. In a 72-65 win, her team is now 2-6 on the season. Do you anticipate still playing basketball at the age of 40?
We'll see where life takes me.
See where life takes you. Talk about the transition. We talked about it off the court, but on the court, you know, everybody's bigger, faster, stronger. What's been the hardest thing to get accustomed to or to adapt to here in the Big Ten?
I would just say, like you said, the speed. That's definitely something that is the hardest to adjust to. But
when I ask people about you, and I do, one of the things I hear, and the coach talked about it a little bit earlier, probably in the gym as much, if not more, than any player on the team. Is that something? Have you always had that big work ethic to get in the gym and get extra shots and extra work in?
yes, ever since like pretty much the 6th grade, I've shot before school every day. So I love it, and it starts my day off on a really good note. So,
were you a self-taught shooter? I mean, a lot of people go to shooting coaches, and they have. I mean, some people it's very natural. Some people people try to tweak their shots. How did your shot develop? Because you've been a great outside shooter, 41% your senior year in high school from three-point range.
I mean, I've had coaches and stuff. Andy Herger he helped me the most with my shot, but I wouldn't say I ever had like a horrible shot. I'm just
right.
Yeah. I don't know. It's, I guess, natural.
But if they see something, they can adjust. Kind of like a
Yes.
golf swing. Professional golfers have swing coaches. I mean, there's no shame in getting somebody to tweak every once in a
Yes.
while. What was your experience like other than basketball down in the Bahamas? Did you enjoy your time there?
I did. I love to tan. I love to be tan, so that was definitely a highlight. And spending it with my team, that was so fun. And it's just great to be able to hang out on the beach a little.
Did you get in the water and participate in any water sports or diving or anything like that while you were there?
I stepped into the ocean, but I didn't
Just so you
really
could say
get
you
in.
did, right?
Yes.
Have they prepared you for what life is like in the Big Ten? Because the intensity does go up a little bit once conference play starts. Hard to believe, but sometimes the games get tougher when we get into conference play.
I think each game and each practice is just an opportunity to get better and see how things are. And I think the upperclassmen have shown us freshmen and new people tried to help us and get us adapted, but we'll see when we get there.
When you were on the floor with your other 4 freshmen yesterday, did you all realize that you were out there together as a freshman group, and how did that feel?
I didn't realize it. I was ready to go, and I wasn't really thinking about that, but after I saw a picture and they posted about it, so that was really cool and special.
And how much of a support group has it been to be in a group of 5 freshmen? You're not one or it's not a 1 or 2 person class. You've got a group that you can really kind of grow with here at Purdue.
Yes, I really love it, and I've made really great friendships with all of them, and I'm so thankful that all of them are in the same class as me because they're all great girls, and I really have enjoyed meeting them so far.
We're really happy you made the trip up from Tennessee. I don't think you're going to get much tanning in your Christmas break trip in Nebraska, but good luck with that.
Thank you.
And good luck this rest of the freshman season.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have the head coach back with us after this. It's the Katie Gearlds Show, presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
Matchup here in West Lafayette with significant.
This team wants to win tonight, you will win. If you go out and compete, and you're together, and you understand what your job is, and you're focused, and you're zoned in, you will win the match. My dream of this team is to play with more intensity than any team in the country.
She is stumped. No surprise. Myers in the play.
Just seeing this team starting to click now, really understanding our roles, because at first it was really tough and we had a lot of new pieces, and seeing how that would fit together. So seeing it all click and all of it being full now is really cool. I mean, I love playing in this gym. Part of the reason I committed is to play at Holloway.
So before a Purdue basketball game or anytime throughout the week, stop by Walk-Ons in the Purdue Memorial Union, where it's always game day with a taste of Louisiana. Another reminder, assuming a Purdue volleyball win on Thursday, the basketball game on Friday will be streaming only. You can get it at purduesports.com, and then we'll be back here on Bob FM on Sunday afternoon as Purdue takes on Valparaiso. I don't know if you've had a chance to look very much at either one of those teams, but going on the road, you've been able to protect your home floor so far, looking for your first win away from Mackey Arena, as you get ready for that Big Ten opener coming up against Minnesota. Winning on the road is pretty important in this league.
No doubt. You know, last year we were a pretty solid road team, so really good opportunity for us to go up to over to Dayton and find a way to win a road game. They've won their last 3. They haven't played since Saturday, so they've got a good week of prep for us, so we're going to have to come ready to go.
The Boilermakers coming in with a 3-3 record. You've been able to get a lot of combinations on the floor, especially yesterday. It's nice. We haven't had one of those games yet this year where you were really able to empty the bench early and see a lot of different things and try some things. What did you like, either from a combination or from a certain structure that you tried to play yesterday?
Yeah, I just think it was good to get our young kids some good quality minutes, good tape, good live action, good film, you know, just stuff that they can watch and grow on. It was good to have Soph out there for a little bit, get her feet wet a little bit. She was nervous in the first half, you could tell. She just moves differently than everybody else on a basketball court for us on the offensive end. So as she just gets more and more confident, looking forward to her really helping us out.
She may need to get a little bit more confident, but I'll tell you, she was a little bit Kelly Kamara-ish, and the first time she gets out there and touches the ball, she jacks up a 3-point shot.
And that light is as green as it gets. Sophie Swanson can shoot it anytime she touches it.
Well, and it's amazing, really. Her comeback from that leg injury, I mean, you weren't sure how much you were going to have her. You were hoping by the start of the Big Ten season, and she's a player that really can help you on the offensive end.
Yeah, we got to figure out the other end, but that'll come, obviously, as she gets more practice, more reps, more live action reps. But she just moves differently. You could tell even on her drive, just her power. You know, she's got great leg strength. She hangs in the air. The 2 threes that she missed, just her pace and her understanding of how to get her feet ready to shoot is just really, really elite, actually.
I want to go back to the Florida game for a second. You were facing a former Boilermaker there in Rashea Kyle at 6'6". You don't see a lot of that in the Big Ten or anywhere else. I thought that Caitlin Harper and Mary Ashley Stevenson really battled, and they're going to be playing a little bit undersized in the post, but they gave you everything they had inside, and I thought they outplayed her inside.
Yeah, both of them had really good games. You know, you expect that from Caitlin. You know, even though you know what you're going to get, and Mary Ashley is just like taking off. She doesn't play like a freshman out there for us, and I thought the both of them battled really well against Georgia, and I thought Elena gave us some really good minutes against Georgia with their size.
And Elena's a player, we talked about this earlier in the season. She really came on at the end of her freshman year at Grand Canyon, had her 3 best games at the end of the season, and she's a player, again, a developmental player, but a player that's going to get better as the year goes along.
Yeah, Elena's just going to always do exactly what you ask her to do. You know, you ask her to get somebody open on the backside off of a pin down, she's going to set a monster screen. You ask her to make sure the other post player doesn't get a defensive rebound, she's going to make sure that happens. You know, and we challenge her. You know, her job is to make sure, you know, she keeps stealing Caitlin's minutes. You know, so Caitlin's not playing 34, 35 minutes. Caitlin's playing 27, 28, and 25, and Elena's on that way. And if she can do that, it'll really help our ball club because it'll keep Caitlin fresh for long periods of time.
I thought it was good for McKenna Layden to see a couple of 3-pointers going yesterday. She had 8 points and 6 rebounds in some limited playing time. And again, she's got the size like Emily has at that guard position that can really help you.
I mean, you talk about Soph coming in and shooting it. Rashonda comes off of a back action and knocks a 3 down. Kenna comes down in transition and shoots a 3. I mean, these young guns, they're ready. They're coming in ready to shoot it. So, but they know they've all got the green light. They put the work in. They live in a gym, and it's just really, really good to see.
Well, Joe Tiller told me once it's a lot easier to put a harness on than to put an accelerator in him. So you got the right thing there. So that's a good problem to have.
Yeah, we'll take it.
All right, we're going to have the final segment of the Katie Gearlds Show presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union after this on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.
10 leader in sacks even after missing action last week. Sorsby on 3rd down, it's intercepted. Dylan Thieneman nearly makes Sorsby. And it just needs a 1st down here. Pocket collapsing on Sorsby. How did he stay on his feet? Scorton sticks with the play and the big 1st and 10. Burhan again, and he makes Dunham miss. He makes more miss, and the freshman scores for Purdue. With the penalty because it took place so far downfield. 2nd and 3. Sorsby. And was it intercepted? No, it was incomplete. Kobe was the intended receiver.
What a play by Cam Allen. I mean, in the hip pocket, gets that head around and just pops that ball out into that left hand, and then that right knee hits his fourth.
The quarterback. Third down here. Sorsby airs it out for McCulley. Thieneman, another interception. Bucket game between Purdue and Indiana. Purdue ball, third down in the red zone. Card deals, end zone, touchdown, Purdue. Drew Bimmer. And short, trying to keep this drive alive as we start the fourth quarter. A ball pass, Devin Mockabee. Touchdown, Purdue.
And you're going to see Mockabee, and he knows that that defense is so locked in on Hudson.
Really tough to bring down for Indiana's defensive line. He throws it deep for Deion Burks. Card up the gut. Card, touchdown. Purdue has the lead.
Thing off on the right foot, and then Card calls his own number. Makes Aaron Case.
This week's game plan is presented by Purdue Federal Credit Union, home of the official credit union for Purdue fans. Learn more about their products and services at PurdueFed.com. Couple of games this week. On the road at Dayton on Friday, and then Valparaiso at home on Sunday. Dayton, a team that struggled last year and struggled coming out of the gate this year. But as you mentioned, they've won their last 3 games in a row. The last time Purdue went over to Dayton was not a happy experience. It was, I think, a 2-point loss by the Boilermakers several years ago. So we need to turn that thing around. And, again, get that road mojo going this year.
Yeah, we have to. Obviously, we got that game and then go to Notre Dame. But in between there, we open the Big Ten play on the road, so we got to get comfortable playing and winning on the road.
Then you've got a home game against Valparaiso, and we saw it yesterday with Southern Indiana. You're going to get, anytime you play an in-state team at Mackey Arena, you're going to get their best shot because a lot of those kids probably wanted to wear the gold and black at Purdue.
Yeah, we told that to our group, and Amy, who's been on the show, she played at Southern Indiana.
Yes.
And, she told our group too, like, I would have dreamed to wear the Purdue colors and play in Mackey. So it's just the nature of the beast. We got to go out there and we got to protect our home floor, but we got to go out there and we challenge our kids just to respect the game and play the game the right way. And no matter who you're playing, you play like you're playing a game that really, really, really matters, because they all do. And I expect that our kids will show a lot of maturity.
I did mention to Amy before the game that she did have to root for the team in white yesterday. I know she probably had some mixed emotions inside, but you always root for the paycheck. I learned that early on in life.
Yeah, it was good to have her on our side. Obviously, coaches are creatures of habit, so he does a lot of the same stuff that he did. So having her on our side, and Lakin and Abby too, they dialed in on a scout and thought they did a really good job helping us prepare.
Finally, in just a few seconds, Katie, a lot of momentum right now in the Purdue sports program. The football team wins the Old Oaken Bucket. The men's team ranked #1 in the country. First Big Ten team that's ever been #1 3 years in a row on the men's side. And you got the volleyball team that's playing at home in the first and second round. I would think that momentum can do nothing but help your team moving forward.
Yeah, we can't be the bad wheel here. We got to make sure we're carrying our weight. And obviously, good seeing the football team beat Indiana always, and Matt, what he's doing with the men's program as always. But it's hopefully Dave gets it done, and they go on to Madison the next week.
All right, we'll see you Friday night in Dayton.
All right, sounds good.
Want to thank our engineer tonight, Wes Scott, our producer, Roger Forsyth. Video by Corey Palm and his band of renown tonight. The Boilermakers taking on the Dayton Flyers. That'll be a Friday night tip. Assuming the Boilermaker women's volleyball team wins, will be on streaming only. That'll be at PurdueSports.com. And then Boilermakers in Valparaiso on Sunday at 1:45. For the head coach and for Emily Monson, I'm Tim Newton. Thank you for joining us. This has been the Katie Gearlds Show on the Purdue Global Sports Network from Learfield.